like I just love seeing different cultures, different points of view. It gives you a much more appreciation of the way other people live. You see that being from the West, especially living in Canada, we're very privileged, and you come to these countries and then you see a completely different way of life and how people don't have the simple things in life that you have and you take for granted every day.
I wanted to see more of the world, like I wanted to to meet people from different cultures and see like the different ways people live, like in all places, and get to know people, and also sightseeing. I like visiting the attraction.
Because I can go for longer and I want to experience the world. I don't want to see everything how it is at home. I want to understand how it is, for example, here.
I had a friend, a very good friend, and he traveled 4 months in Asia. And I met him in Barcelona, and he was always talking about Asia. He was always talking about his experience traveling here. This idea of him, of Asia, stick on me. Was inside me, and I was thinking maybe I want to experience all the things he was telling me about backpacking in Asia.
Well, at first I went to Bali for my yoga class because I'm yoga instructor. So I find two very nice teachers. They are working in Bali, and I went to Bali for them. And some people told me here's a nice place, so I decided to come. And I went here for the diving review course.
It's a party island, so I came here, and also for water sport.
We came to Bali, everyone said to come to Gili, and my friends really wanted to. And then I like to travel, and it's beautiful here, and I was okay with that. Yeah.
The impact in Bali of the religion was huge. I saw many temples and beautiful temples, actually. I really like the architecture of the temples in Bali. They're very different from Thailand. I like the rituals, how they put these clothes to go to the temples. Everything is so colorful. The flowers, oh, I love the flowers in Indonesia. They put flowers in everything. In the bedroom, in the hostels, in the temples, in the restaurants.
I got like 5 months ago.
Going back home on 14th February, before New Year.
Oh, it's gonna be a year.
I have 1 month and a half more, so I'm deciding where to go now in Indonesia.
Mentally and physically, not at all really. Like I just knew I wanted to do it. Financially, I had to work with it for a long time, and I'm very lucky that I could work with my dad, so I could leave. I didn't have to quit a job or do anything, you know.
Well, running my own business, I'm able to put away money every year, which allows me to travel for as long as I want, really, in the winter. I have 4 months, but usually I can only travel for 2 or so. I have a dog back home, which it's hard constantly leaving her with different people. So I don't really have to prepare myself mentally. Like I've done it so many times now that I'm used to it. Now you do have to prepare yourself for it. Not everything's going to go right all the time. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen it's going to make it challenging.
I'm very spontaneous. Even I don't plan my trips. I just wing it, I just decide to go somewhere, I buy the ticket, and then I go. So there was no much of preparation, so it's just like very, very spontaneous.
Well, normally I go travel. I will go someplace to take some yoga course. So at first I need to have money for my class. I need to pay my yoga course. So then I think the first step is buy a ticket, like flight ticket. Maybe you need just one way or 2 way. That's really important. Then you should know from internet. You can know like this place is expensive or not, and then you can prepare like how much money you will spend for whole day. Like for example, you can maybe $20 for a day or $15. It depends on you. So then you decide how long you want to travel, like maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then you can know how much money you have to have at least.
Okay, so financially, I was an English teacher, so I had savings. And my family, as they were traveling to Bali, they also helped me with my stay in Bali. I was invited in Bali by my mom and my dad to their hotels and for everything, the tours. So that was a big help for me. And as I said, I had savings from my English teaching. I saved for 1 year in Europe. So I had a good budget for traveling 3 months. And for mentally, I needed. It was, yes.
How about physically?
No, physically I had an accident in Thailand. I crashed with my motorcycle, as you can see here. But I'm okay. I had a good insurance and I said this is not going to stop me for traveling. This is part of the travel.
Like just trying to stay healthy, not getting sick, and trying to keep your possessions, your wallet, your money. About it, because I mean my credit card and all that's been stolen. I lost my phone, so that's the main challenge.
It could be lots of things. Like if you get sick, that's very hard, like to deal with. That's one thing I'm really afraid of. You know.
Have you get sick before?
I got sick. Yeah. Yeah. Huh?
How did you deal with it?
So you go to the hospital, you get the medication, but still, and when you are a solo traveler, there is no one to support you, and it feels ugly.
As a girl, if you travel alone, always happen. Like you walk on the street, a lot of weird people, they will floating you, and sometimes your luggage is too big, too heavy, but you have to carry it by yourself because you decide to bring a lot of things with you. You have to carry by yourself. Nobody gonna help you. Sometimes you will be really tired, but you have to keep walking.
Things can go wrong, and you can still keep a smile on your face and just go, it is what it is, and you just have to make the best of it and move on. If
I've met lots of nice people, and it changed my perspective. I met 18 years old people, and they were acting more mature than me, and very nice people. And the good thing about backpacking is you see how people can be very fragile, so you need to always respect them and treat them nice. Yeah, so I think that was the most important thing for me. So it's like there are lots of nice people and they are traveling, and and you learn a lot from them.
Maybe independence, maybe, I don't know, meeting people, that's not that easy. There are many people around, many people like with different knowledge, different cultures, just like sharing some experience with each other. I think I consider myself as a backpacker. Yeah.
I'm definitely a backpacker. I mean, I travel with a backpack, and I'm not in any place too long. I stay in hostels mostly so that I can meet people. Right? When you're traveling by yourself, you don't want to stay in hotels because, well, it's way more expensive, and you don't really get the travel experience because you're by yourself and you have less of an opportunity to meet people.
Oh, backpacker. I'm poor.
As backpack, this is my second trip. Yeah, I've been before.
So before these 8 months, you have been.
I went away for 4 months last time. Yeah, I did Thailand, Australia, Vietnam, and New Zealand.
Well, in terms of like globalization, stuff like that, you can see it when you go from one country to the next, how it's much more impactful in certain countries than other places. Like, I mean, if you were in Cambodia 20 years ago, and then you go to Cambodia today, it's a completely different culture because obviously a lot more people are traveling there. Tourism is the biggest industry in Southeast Asia, so you can just see these countries slowly start to develop more and more hotels, more restaurants, more bars.
First, I like documentary. You can learn a lot from documentary, and Now you can search everything from internet, right? But internet is, well, like if you go travel and you go back, you went back and you write something on internet, this is like you can only learn, get from maybe half or 70% from this information, because everyone has different experience, different feeling. So you can search, but like don't do like I travel, I learn everything from internet. No.
I'm consuming while traveling, of course. We are in a restaurant right now. I'm consuming food. I love gastronomy. I love eating. So I consume when I eat, and I like going to good restaurants. And sometimes I put my budget on it. Sometimes I don't buy clothes or technology just to go to good restaurants and eat well food. But that's a personal thing.
I would say so, a little bit, yeah. Because I get disconnected from the culture back home too, so I'm not really sure what's popular there anymore. So I start, wearing, adapt here, yeah, exactly. Especially if I've been, for example, in Southeast Asia for a long time. There are differences within the countries, but there are also like similarities compared to back home. So then you start to adapt a little bit, yeah.
It's a lot of difference. Like people in Indonesia or people in whole Southeast Asia are more happy, I think. Malaysia is quite similar because Malaysia is a lot of Chinese, so it's quite similar. But people in Southeast Asia, like Thailand and here, also I came from Myanmar before Indonesia. Not just young people, also young kids, old people, everyone's really happy. But in China, I think people care more about money. So everyone's work really hard, many competition. So like especially in big city, the life is really tough, I think.
Absolutely, the youth in my country are so spoiled. They're entitled. They have everything given to them. And you come to countries like this. I've been to the Middle East as well, and you see these kids have very little, and yet they always are smiling, and they're always happy to see you, and they're always saying hello.
Need to think about it, just need to go. If you are kind of, how can I say, scared about what is going on, about what's going to happen, you don't need to be that scared, because there are very many cool people around, like helping each other.
First, make money by yourself. That's really important. Don't ask money from parents. Then, make sure this is a safe place. Especially for girls, it's really important. Yeah, we go traveling, we want happiness, but life is more important. And third, it's better to decide what you want to learn. Like when you travel, you can learn a lot of things. Like if for example here, diving or surfing or even snorkeling is also a skill, like experience. So find something you like and you can keep doing this.
At first, I would like to thank to Mr. Ken for giving us this opportunity to explore other countries' culture. Through this travel, I have explored myself and found that the culture in Gili Trawangan was totally different with ours. For example, in Malaysia, we won't suddenly say hello to the passer or the tourist, and we won't dare to communicate with the strangers. However, the people, the backpackers, they are very open. They can drink together, chat together, but they just knew each other. All of this action will not appear in local use. I have become braver in this travel as well. Actually, I was very afraid to the sea. I have overcome the fear to the sea. Besides, I have met a lot of friends in the trips, and all of them are very nice people.
At first, I feel to be grateful for having an opportunity of traveling in Gili Trawangan with my teammate, and also thanks to Mr. Ken who are teaching us this subject and giving us this amazing assignment. So this is my first time travel in Southeast Asia, and it made me feel very excited because I had never been here before. During this traveling, I got a lot of experience. Like for example, I learned how to approach to the foreign people, like not just only say hello to them, but also learn the way how we can chat with them and get to know them better, such as their background, their culture, and their opinions as a backpacker. Besides, I got the experience like diving, rowing, or cycling activities with my friends. We doing crazy things. We learn how to plan our trip, and we also took so many nice photos with each other. It is really enough for me, and I feel very happy and satisfied in this traveling.
During the trip, I think me and my group mates have gained and experienced a lot in Gili Trawangan. Like it can be an adventurous trip for us. Like at first we are all scared of water, but we did the snorkeling and island hopping. It's such a good experience to explore the ocean. And another thing is we met a bunch of nice and cool people during the trip, as they are all comes from different countries and have the courage to travel alone to see the world. And we have tried to communicate with them and found out that some of our cultures are actually different between Asian and Western, as they are more open-minded and like carefree of everything. So for the challenge that we facing during the trip, I think is like for me myself. At first, I know that the island is full of cats, and I'm afraid of cats. But luckily, the cats there are calm and not as much as I think. So yeah. Lastly, I actually feel proud that we can communicate with the locals with our Bahasa Melayu. It makes us closer and feel like there's our another home. So we are much appreciate that we have the chance to participate in this subject. The greatest lesson that I learned in this trip was plans will always go wrong, but it is okay. At first, I was very worried about the safety, whether we can get interviewee, the culture over there, and etc. So I planned a lot before I go. When plans went wrong, I was very anxious whether we can finish our assignment and have fun at the same time. But also because of the changes during the trip, we get to meet new friends who travel with us, and also we get to explore things that are not stated in the information we found online. The experiences we get here are more than what we can research online. Backpacking are more interesting than I thought. It is not tough and lonely like how I used to think. Instead, it is very fun and full of surprises.